Hello, I am Lisette Thomas. I teach U.S. history in Texas. I want to show you how I can adapt my lessons if for some reason our school decides to implement distance learning. Okay? Now, my district has Canvas, so distance learning is doable. Okay. And at this time, we're expected to reach 23rd. And I don't know the criteria for why they would keep that date. I guess if the community is showing no signs of the virus, then there's no reason to, then I guess social distancing is working. But there are some communities that are already doing distance learning. I've heard of some teachers that said that their districts have already canceled school for the rest of the year, and they are going to switch to distance learning. And, teachers are looking for ideas: Google Classroom, Canvas, Blackboard, regular emails, I guess, for schools that are not prepared for distance learning. But I do want to introduce Nearpod. Now, some of us, and I would think a majority of us, know about Nearpod. Most schools will send their teachers to some kind of professional development to teach you how to use Nearpod. I signed up with my school email, and it's as simple as that. There is no fee, and creating a lesson is really easy. And I have lessons. I'll go right into this. I have lessons for the whole year, and it takes a while for Nearpod to load because I have a lot of lessons from the beginning. Creating a nation is where we start. Westward expansion. I even have a Nearpod lesson for the first week of school. And then it just goes on into, we end with the present day. Our textbook actually ends with the election of Obama. Okay, so the last lesson that I did with my students, before spring break, was the energy crisis of the 1970s, as well as the Iran hostage crisis. And so when we get back from spring break, we are expected to get into the 80s. Okay. Let me show you how I'm going to adapt this lesson. I think before I go into let's do this one. First, let me show you what a live lesson looks like. Just for those who are not familiar with this. A live lesson is going to present you with a code. You would tell your students this code. They would sign into Nearpod and enter this code, and then they will be on the same page you are on. Okay? So they're going to see the first slide. Whatever slide you have it on, they're going to see it. They have no control with the live lesson. You are in complete control. They could be reading, and you could say, okay, time's up. Next slide. Okay? And you can just, it's at your pace. Well, meaning you are in control of how long you spend on each slide. And then and in my case, I would give a lesson. Nearpod has some interactive activities. Okay. And then if I have a child that is absent, This is an activity. Well, so if I have a child that's absent, he would get another code. He would get a student code where he would be able to have control over this lesson, and he can navigate from beginning to end with no interruptions. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure we understood that point. And I have games, I have review questions, I have links that you click on this link and it'll take you to another tab. I have videos, and so this is a multi-day lesson because, of course, Vietnam is a multi-day lesson. And so what I just went through slides for the first day, and the second day is warm up 2. And then if my students come to me sick, they were out sick, and they can say, Mrs. Thomas, what did I miss? And I would say, you're going to go to Canvas and get your Nearpod code, or look at the whiteboard and I will have the Nearpod code for you, and you will do the assignment mentioned in Nearpod. Okay. Now, I'm blessed that my district has Canvas. I know some teachers may not. They think it's another tool to use that they're not going to use, but they really should get into it. So that was my Vietnam. And I want to hit edit so that we can discuss what you just saw. Now, you lose your codes. And the only reason I'm doing this right now is because my students are done with the Vietnam packet. We moved on. And so for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to add some slides and some activities and show you some things. Okay. Originally I had this timeline assignment with some Cold War and Vietnam events, and then I told them in the class what the assignment is. Okay? It was on my whiteboard. I said, these are the things. They had their little Chromebooks or iPads or even their phones. You're on the same slide I'm on. You're going to find these events and you're going to put them into your timeline that you've already created with the civil rights lesson. Okay? So that they can understand that some of these things are happening at the same time. And this also helps your student understand that things do not happen, that they're not separate from each other. Like there's this civil rights movement. I mean, some kids actually think the civil rights movement happened and then Vietnam. And they need to understand that this is a time in history where these things are happening at the same time. Okay? So that was the point of this timeline lesson. Now, if I was to adapt this lesson, okay, for homebound students, I won't be able to give them clear instructions. At least my students are going to need a little bit more. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create this new tile. And then I have all kinds of options. So I called it timeline instructions. And here are my choices that I can do. I can either type out the instructions. I can post a video of the instructions. So when I click this, I can either pull a video from my documents, or I can upload a video from YouTube. And since I have a YouTube account, I would more than likely make the video and then upload it to YouTube and then search for it, plug in, the code, search for it and then add it. I would definitely do that. Now, Canvas has an option of doing videos as well. I can do videos right from Canvas. But again, it's all right here for you. I don't have to have, my students don't have to go back and forth. The only reason my kids go to Canvas is to pick up the code. That's really it. And then with Canvas, we can give them tests. Okay, so the other option is a picture of the instructions. Okay. A document or from your drive. Okay. This is a neat feature. So yesterday, on the 13th, Nearpod dropped 2 brand new videos. And I believe it's in response to what's happening right now. Because if you go to the Nearpod homepage, they're offering help for teachers who are going to have to teach distance learning. So here's an option you could do. You click audio, and I could actually have written instructions, and then on top of that, or a copy of the instructions, and then I can record myself. Let's see if this will work. Okay, here we go. Good morning, students. I'm going to need you to follow these instructions. You're going to take out your timeline that we worked on during the Civil Rights Movement. And in the next tile, you're going to see some historical events that happened during the Cold War and Vietnam War. And I want you to put them in the right places, okay? So you're going to have to look up the dates for these things and plug them in to your timeline, okay? And if you look at this picture that I have uploaded, you will see my example of me adding the dates to my current timeline. Save. Okay. Now let's see if it's uploading, processing. Let's see if that worked. Good morning, students. I'm going to need you to follow these instructions. You're going to take out your timeline that we worked on during the Civil Rights Movement. And in the next tile, you're going to see some historical events that happened during the Cold War and Vietnam War. Okay, I'm going to stop it for there. Now, I did this right off the top of my head. I would probably write out a script and have it a little bit more eloquent than that. Okay, then I save this timeline instructions, and then I go to the pre-existing timeline assignment. Now, I pre-did this to get ready for the video, and I realized I think I should teach you how to do this. You're going to, for those who don't know, all you're going to do is click out a slide, add content. There's your slide option. There, you have it. And you do anything with these. You could do your warm-ups. You can do your instructions. If you are a teacher that wants to see daily work, then you can say, you can give an actual date, and you could say March 23rd, and then come in here and create a text. Today I need you to turn in your timeline by 5 p.m. Okay, something like that. I mean, and so every day you'll have instructions, and then you'll know. They'll have, and this probably will help parents as well, parents who want to be involved and help their kids. They can, it's all, you can have the dates here and the daily agenda, kind of the way you would have it set up in your classroom. We in our district have the we will, I will statements, which is, what we call our objectives. And then I also on my board have the day, okay, you're gonna do your warm up, and then we're gonna watch a video, and you're gonna take your video notes, and then you're gonna, take out your maps and whatever. I have my agenda, and you could put your whole agenda here. So for March 23rd, you should be working on your timeline. You should go to participate in the discussion and answer the poll, whatever you assign to keep these kids engaged and turning in work. And I just wanted to give you an example of how to create one of these tiles. Okay, and then again, whenever you create a tile and add it, Nearpod is going to add it to the very end, and then you grab it and you can move it around. Okay, you can, if you want it up at the front. I really have trouble with my husband's laptop. We just got a notice that we can go to school on Monday and pick up our laptops. Our district gives us a laptop, so let's say I want it right here. Okay, and that's where I want it. And see, and in my laptop, I have all my resources. I can't really pull worksheets, and because I have tons of worksheets and stuff, and Word documents, PDF files, but they're on my laptop. And that's something, I mean, you want to create something and add worksheets and stuff to this, it's super easy. Some other features that I have, this is a slideshow to show examples. When I was giving the lesson on the original day, I wanted to give an example, the different types of timelines that there are, and you should always give them an example of what you're asking for. There was something else, the collaborate. I love Nearpod has some great, you can change the theme and you ask a question. You just learned about the Tonkin Gulf incident, write a hashtag. And there's more to it. I don't know why I cut it off, but so, and then as the kids answer, they actually post like these little memos with the thumbtack in them. It's kind of cute. And some look like little torn up papers, Post-its, stuff like that. Okay, and then so let me show you what it looks like, what the students are going to see when you're doing these lessons. Would I keep that collaborate if for homebound students? Yes. They'll skip right over it. I mean, and if they want to open it up and use it and play with it, that's they can. And that's between you and your, if you encourage them, hey, you're going to see something that says 1960s, collaborate, participate, drop a Post-it. For this is a quiz question. Let me try to remember what this was. Primary reason the U.S. would get involved in the Vietnam conflict is that it would, and then they would have to pick an answer, promote Reconstruction after World War II, or keep communism from spreading. And you can even add a little picture. And I only gave them 2 choices. You could give them more. And we are done. So I had that question as part of my lesson that day. See, this video is more about Gulf Tonkin. Okay, so I do warm-ups where I take a snippet of a released star question. And yes, I leave the answer exposed for couple of my classes that have a high number of inclusion students, because to me it's important that they immediately get the answer and write it down, because it's not about just guessing. They're going to get the answer anyway, because this is something we're going to discuss. And sometimes I will hide it. Now watch this. So there's the answer right there. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Now we can. Okay. That's what I wanted. Okay. I hid the answer. So you get to choose. Sometimes I show the answer. Sometimes I hide it. It really depends on the question. If I think it's a hard question, and if I'm doing a review question that they missed on a benchmark, that kind of thing. So you have a choice, because you just moved your picture around. And when you snip these type of questions that you get from websites or release tests or whatever, always try to figure out a way to snip the answer too, like I did. Because, it's always good to have it there. Okay, that's how I do my warm-ups. Or you could just do a warm-up where you just ask, a quick write, a poll question. Okay, so I want to explore more into this slideshow and show you why I love this slideshow feature. But the best way I could do that is to go into a lesson I'm working on right now. Now, I have all my lessons done, but I always tweak and adapt each year. I add to it, because you're constantly learning things and discovering things and finding things, and I want to add to it. So let's go in here. Oh, and going back to, okay, so Mrs. Thomas, I've been absent, and I can tell them, well, we've been working on the Vietnam packet. Here's your student code. There it is. 29 days, but you can certainly extend it. Okay? There you go. You have complete control. So it's good for 38 days. And that is the code. Remember, if you add anything, the minute you click edit, it's going to tell you that you will lose your codes. So don't forget to tell your students the new code. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click lesson, because I want you to see, let's let you know, I want you to see the slideshow feature and why, as an inclusion teacher, I love this. Okay, students, this is your code. Plug this in. Go to Canvas to write out the vocabulary notes for the following PowerPoint. To print out the vocabulary notes. Sorry, your notes are due at the end of the week. Now, these are instructions. I created this today because this would be how I would adapt this lesson if we were doing distance learning. Okay? Because I would actually have the printout for them in the classroom. They come into my room. There's a red basket where they pick up anything that they need for that day, for that lesson. So if I don't have that, we're not meeting in the classroom and we're doing distance learning, then I would have to give them instructions and tell them where they're going to find those papers that they use to fill out their notes. And I do 3 types of notes. I do vocabulary notes, which is a word and a picture that corresponds with my PowerPoint, or it is the actual PowerPoint word for word missing with blanks, that they're going to fill in those blanks as they follow along on the PowerPoint. And then the third one is questions. Questions that will be answered by following along with the PowerPoint. Those are the hardest notes. And coincidentally, those are the notes I was going to introduce when we got back from spring break. Okay, so here's my PowerPoint. It's just a standard PowerPoint. I uploaded this from my my drive. Okay. Now I start with this picture. Anybody know who he is? As you see his name, anybody know who he is? I mean, you have a relative talk about him, and what do you know? What did your dad say? Oh, what did your aunt say? Oh, okay. What do you know of him? Okay. What have you ever heard his name in the last couple of years? And we get to talking to him, you know. And then I'm a primary source, okay? Because teachers, you are. You've lived through this stuff. I will give them my personal stories. I remember Ronald Reagan when I was a small, I was elementary, middle school. And I remember this, and I used to think that he was a forefather. I really did. It was when I was in 5th grade. But anyway, I tell him these anecdotes. I talked about Reagan. I go ahead and tell them I love the 80s. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to do a gallery mall gallery walk. And it's where the classroom looks like a mall from the 80s, and they're going to do stations, and I get excited, and I get them excited. Now, I'm talking, and I have 3 types of students, and I think we all do. I have the student who should be in an AP class, and for whatever reason, they're not in that AP class, and I do encourage them. I tell them, you should be in AP. And they are going to listen to my lecture, and because they're capable of doing that, they can listen to me talk, and then they're just like, moving on. I'm going to start filling out my notes, and they will come in here, and with the little asterisks if I was doing vocabulary, they would fill in, the stuff with the asterisk, and they move on. They don't want to, those students will still participate. I love it. They are moving ahead, but they will participate if I ask a question. Now, my low level readers, struggling students, they don't have to feel rushed. They don't have to be embarrassed. They don't have to ask me to slow down, because in the past, teachers who continue to use PowerPoints, when they move on to the next slide, that student who's struggling is still on slide 2. And what is that student going to do? They're going to raise their hand and say, Miss, you're going too fast. Can you go back? Okay, I'm going to go back. Now, it's messed up my momentum, but that's okay. However, it's not okay with the other students. They're going to complain. They're going to, oh my gosh, will you hurry up? Oh, and you've actually lost their students, the ones who are advanced, because now they're aggravated. We've messed up their momentum as well. So with this, remember, when you have the live code, the live lesson, they cannot move side to side. You have complete control. If you have this on your whiteboard and this is on your screen, that is all your students are going to see on their device. Same thing for this. However, there's one neat thing about this. They can't move. They cannot click on this and move to the next screen. But when you're in the slideshow feature, they can navigate in these slides as quick or as slow as they want. So I will have my students who are advanced. They're already in slide 6. I'm on slide 4. I'm talking about the conservative resurgence, and I will have that third group that's with me. They don't fall behind, and they don't go ahead. They are right with me. And as soon as I start reading something, they're writing it. They're just they're that group of students that are just going to stay with me. Okay, wherever she goes, I'm going to go. And my students that are slower and need more time, they don't have to feel bullied or pressured. They can go at their own pace. Okay, so they may be still at slide 2, even though I'm on 4, and my other students, the high level ones, they're on 6. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Can you get me the plug? The plug, let me get my, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Now here's what's neat about this, okay? This presentation's 19 slides. That's going to take me 2 or 3 days to go through, okay? I don't do all 19 slides in one lesson. I don't. So we're going to come back to it tomorrow, and then here's the great thing. At the end of the lesson, on my whiteboard, I said, for those of you who have not finished your slide or feel like you're left behind, here's the code. There it is. They can go home or they can work on it at their own pace. That is what I love about that slideshow feature. And so we can adapt this. I know a lot of us are going to do videos. I mean, what else can we possibly do when you're doing distance learning? We're going to have to rely heavily on videos. And so unfortunately, I would have to adapt this by adding a slide with the questions that I would normally give my students to answer when watching a video. So when I present them with a video, if it's less than 10 minutes, then I tell them, you know what, you're going to write 8 facts. Watch the video and I want you to write 8 facts / notes from this video. But if it's a longer video, I actually have study guide questions. And that is where I would create a slide with a copy of the study guide questions. And so I could adapt this video. This is a feature. Okay, so love. Okay, so this is going to go with an assignment that they're going to work on. And what happens is you click on it's a feature where you add a website. Okay. And so it is a Nearpod activity where you embed the website address. They're going to click it and then they'll be moved to the website. And then I had them read and answer some questions about the energy crisis. And they're going to answer a couple of these questions. And that's that. And then they can close out that tab and they'll go right back into their Nearpod. And if this is something that is done in class where I'll say, okay, guys, I'm just going to give you about 10 minutes. You're going to read this together and discuss it. Some questions. I'm going to ask y'all some questions. And then when I say, okay, close out that link and go back to Nearpod. Okay. And then fill in the blanks. This is a fill in a blank thing, lesson. And when the students get it, it's blank, and they're going to add the words. So let me show you how that works. Oops. Well, I guess, oh, the students have to do it. I don't know why I didn't reset. That's weird. This is showing the answers. Hold on, let me figure this out. No, that's not what I want. Well, the answers are already in the box. I'm not sure why. I'll have to get back to that, why it looks like that. I guess when the students, I guess when the students are doing this, theirs is blank. But this had there's supposed to be a word bank, and they're supposed to be in the word bank. And then they, at their seat, they will drag these. Oh, see, there it goes. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know how to drag it. I don't know why it's not working for me. Well, I think it's because the student's version has them in the word bank already. That's what I think is happening. Yeah, that's right. And mine is the key. That's what it is. This is the key and theirs is not. Okay. I believe that's it. Okay. And then you get to see the classroom results, how they did on those fill in the blanks. And this is a Nearpod activity. All of these are great. So how would I adapt that lesson? Let's get in there. That was the energy crisis. Let's get in there. Okay. I would create a slide. Remember, this is as if we were doing a lesson for distance learning. I'd pick a color. I always pick the blue. It's just my favorite. Crash course video question. And then I would 1, 2, 3 have my questions and then the instructions. Answer these questions during or after watching the video and turn in via Canvas, or you could say Google Classroom email on Friday, blah, blah, blah. There. Now watch. It's going to go, the newest tile is always going to be at the end. And then you grab it and you move it. And I want it right there. Okay. This is the matching pair question, which is really fun. So now that I realize that what I was showing you is the teacher version, and let me show you the student version. That's what I should do. Here we go. Student paste. Yes. Hold on. That's not what I want. I want that one. Oh, see, all it's going to do is show me the code. How do I do... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's the preview. Duh. See, I need to go back to work. Okay, here's the preview. And see, and so the student will click here to go to to that web page I was telling you, and that's what they see is this big blue bar. So you don't have to deal with students saying, where do I click? It tells them there. This is the student. Ours is the answer key. And so you just plug in, where, and if it fits, it goes. And if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't fit, it's not gonna. So let me show you what happens when it's wrong. Wait a minute. Oh, so they're gonna do this. I'm just putting it in all kinds of places. I'm not even reading this. So I'm going to show you what's going to happen. They put it in and then done. You got 0. Okay, I'll pay attention to that later, but that's what they get. We have the answer key. I have 2 of those fill in the blanks. And then, oh, I love this. I forgot I did this. I made this little matching game. Wait, how do you do it again? Oh, click, click. Why did it say that is Cesar Chavez? Oh. I don't know why it's... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yay. Oh. I need to correct this. See how the mistake I made? There's a second box. And I guess I have this with... Oh, I see. Oh, well. No, actually, I'm going to leave it there. That'll force to keep looking. Okay, and then this goes with Dolores. Okay, so you get it. Okay, so that's the student version. Literally, I copied and pasted this from, I think, our text. No. It was, you know what? I think I put where I found it, actually. Okay, I didn't. I should do that. I should put down where I found it, because now I'll never know. Where did I get these little paragraphs? And you literally just copy and paste the paragraph in there, and then you know what? I'll show you. Why am I? Let's show you, because they are so fun. They are just really fun. Okay, so we're gonna go in here, go to activity. There's the matching pairs if you want to create a matching pair, and this is the fill in the blank. These are so fun. I want to get red. I think I have a Reagan. Let's do something. Yeah, let's do something like that. I probably went to the History Channel. Or even the Britannica. Let's go here. Yeah, this is a good place to go. Okay, so I would copy and go back over here and paste. And then, you know, just to be on the safe side, let's go back and give, because I really need to know where that content came from. I don't remember. And then, there we go. Okay. And then what I do is, next step, now click on words on the right to add to the word bank. So I would, let's do Yuma. He was born March. He passed away in April. In Arizona. Oops. No, I don't want that one. Okay. I want, I see what it's doing. It's not going to let me choose Arizona without, so I guess we're going to have to, well, I could just do that. Okay. I'm going to go back. Yes. Away. Okay. And then I want to pick Chavez, Caesar. I could do his grandfather, Yuma, Arizona. There we go. Now I'm done. And there it is. A fill in the blank has been created. And then I can move it. You know, if I want it here. Come on, move. There we go. Okay. Real quick, you can go to Nearpod Lessons and search for lessons that I've already created. And you would find your group, social studies, and then you can come all the way down. You want warm-ups, assessments, skill builders, full lessons, virtual reality tours. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And then you could just use these. They're already made for you and everything. And then I want to show this because Nearpod is offering their own help. See what Nearpod is doing to help schools actively solving or planning for closures. And like I said, I saw 2 new videos on YouTube yesterday dealing with school closures, want some help with contingency planning, looking for tips. So there's all kinds of resources, and I just love these guys. I really do. So this is Nearpod, my little lesson. I do get asked, will I share my lessons? And here's the reason I haven't yet, because I need to talk to my supervisors, my APs, about the PowerPoints, because they're not mine. We kind of share with, we don't even know who is the original author of these PowerPoints. And I just want to make sure that I'm not sharing something that, because I know it doesn't belong to me. And when I get to the point where I make my own PowerPoints, now I will admit that I have tweaked these PowerPoints and I have changed them drastically, shortened them, changed backgrounds. So I'm not even sure that that would be a copyright problem, since I have completely changed them. But some of them I haven't touched. I know my World War II PowerPoint is perfect as it is, and a coworker gave me that, and it doesn't belong to him. It was just another coworker gave that to him from another school. Do you see what I'm talking about? So if I were to share my Nearpod lessons, it would have to be without the PowerPoints. But I might do that, because let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. There are slim pickings for U.S. history. So I might do that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please put in the comments. And I like to do videos on how I take regular board games and turn them into educational games. I have a Monopoly video that you might want to take a look at. So click like and subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. And if you have any questions, ask in the comments and I will try to answer them as best I can. Be safe out there. I hope everybody's classroom gets back to normal. That's what we want. We want to get back in the classroom as soon as possible, but we have to be safe. So I wish everybody luck, and God bless you.